Hello and welcome to another episode of Comment Chaos Live with me, Rauchenwald, on this sunny Thursday afternoon. I hope you all had a great day so far and a great week. As always, before we jump into this episode and some updates for you, as well as hopefully the answers to your questions, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions and make your own decisions. Besides that, as usual, we are going to start a Q&A, and you can submit your questions at the top where it says, what would you like to know? Submit your questions here. And I'm gonna open the live chat on the other side. And outside of that, we have a newly introduced, this side, 30-minute timer. So to keep those streams from getting too long. So we'll pack into it what we can in the time. Whatever we don't get to answer today, we will then answer hopefully tomorrow during tomorrow's episode. As always, in the beginning, there are a few news that I want to share. Just a second, just want to open a window first, and then we push the button here, and voila. It took long, and I'm honestly on one hand glad, on the other hand still quite disappointed. I've been reminding people in several streams, videos, comments, and so on to please go and vote for Koinly to add an integration or add support for Pi Network. If you don't know Koinly, there's a video on my channel. Irina might share the video. It's the portfolio tracker that I'm using and this tool at the same time that I use to prepare the documents for our yearly tax filings, since we in Germany have to declare our crypto holdings in quotes or profit and loss. And even during the stream where we had more than 100,000 viewers on the launch of the open mainnet, we barely managed to get 100 votes. Either way, today is time to, in quotes, celebrate. You can obviously still go and vote. So I'm going to share the link one more time. So I'm going to share the link, as said, one more time. So if you want, you can still go there. It takes you 30 seconds. Click on login, pick Google or Facebook, and then just click on the upvote here. But Koinly already now finally added that feature request as a planned feature. Now let's hope that they are actually going to make this or build the integration before the end of this tax year. It should work out. There's still a lot of time left until the end of the year, but it's obviously nice to see, I'm not logged in here, of course, that they added it to plan. So that's the big celebration, which goes hand in hand with, there has been a post on the Pi Network subreddit. I'm sure I'll find it. It was called Tax. Please, when it goes or when it is about taxes, I know how or what kind of taxes apply to us here in Germany, but I only know it because we have an accountant that takes care of those things and that I can ask about it. What applies to me or to us here in Germany doesn't have to apply to you. You might live in a country where you don't have to pay any taxes on the Pi that you got. You might live in a country where they are classified as an airdrop and some taxes apply. Or so do your research. You definitely want to do the right thing here. Don't forget, blockchain data is stored and accessible forever. So it's not like if you forget to report some income from your bank account, after 10 years, at least in Europe, after 10 years, the bank will not have the transaction records anymore and you're off the hook. With blockchain data, unless Pi Network goes down the drain, all the nodes are taken offline and so on, the transaction data will be available forever. And therefore, if you don't declare the income or the taxes or whatever it is, depending again on your country, you can get screwed for a very, very long time. So do it right from the beginning. As said, check out the video about Koinly that I made. It's the portfolio tracker that I'm using. It supports most countries on this planet as far as tax filing goes, if you need to file your taxes. And so that's that part. And don't listen to strangers. I mean, obviously that is a good advice. You need to talk to an accountant, yeah. But beyond that, when there are people are saying, yes, just generally, or definitely applies, or 30% tax or so, don't trust random strangers on the internet. That's where you need to, like do your own research. You don't necessarily need to talk to a certified accountant or whatever the equivalent is in your country, but you should at least do some research into what is going on with crypto regulation in your country and taxes for that matter. Yeah. Then that's one thing I wanted to share. Second, you may have noticed that the community sentiment for Pi on CoinMarketCap for the last couple of days, or for 1 or 2 days actually, was negative. So it was actually 90% are negative, or 80% as we see in the screenshot here. Now they say they fixed it, or the post shares and says they fixed it. Probably was some technical issue, because I cannot believe that from one day to, or from 1 hour to the other, suddenly everybody's negative, and then only a couple hours later suddenly everybody is positive. So it makes no sense. However, why am I sharing this? It's first of all to keep in mind whatever data you're shown on some platforms, it always is possible that either that data is manipulated, or that the data or that feature currently has some issue. So take everything you find with a grain of salt, and if possible, double check, although it's hard to double check this here, of course, yeah. Additionally, however, why am I sharing this is because there has been, we don't need that anymore, there has been, again, there is another user on Twitter that basically asks users to leave negative reviews on the App Store for CoinMarketCap and so on. And this is nothing but childish behavior. The community has certain powers, but just because you're unhappy about something that you see on one platform, leaving fake reviews does not make the project look good or professional in any way. So it probably causes more harm than good. The same happened when Binance had their poll to ask for a Pi Network listing. And then obviously after the poll, even if they are going to list it, they have internal processes that first have to be completed to review the project. They would need to pass Pi Network's KYB and whatnot and so on. But again, part of the community went and left 1-star reviews for Binance, which definitely does not help the project. If at all, might just lead to the decision, okay, if the users of that project are so sensitive, impatient, and childish, we better not list it. Yeah. So don't fall into those things. Don't see a conspiracy everywhere if something isn't showing the way you want it to show or it should be. Remember, every software product or tech platform out there also has technical issues from time to time. It might be some kind of conspiracy, but just instantly going out of your way and calling it a conspiracy, or then behaving childish like, like let's give them 1-star reviews to show them how unhappy we are. It's the wrong thing to do. Yeah. That's that. Now, so 2 questions that we're going to address real quick. Mohammed asks, can I have multiple wallets for one Pi account? Yes, you can. However, you have to keep in mind that your wallet has to be, let's switch here actually, or 1 second, let's switch here. Your wallet has to be activated. That means that in the Pi browser, you can obviously go to wallet and create a new wallet where it says in blue at the bottom. You can create a new wallet, and this will give you a separate seed phrase, which is used to access that new wallet. However, until that wallet gets activated, you cannot use it. And it only gets activated when you receive coins in a migration. So when you basically then also go to your mainnet checklist, and in your mainnet checklist, add that new wallet in step number 3 and step number 6, and then wait for the next migration. So then the next migration comes into that second wallet, and with that, that wallet will also be activated. Theoretically, never mind. That's it. So that's how you can set up a second or multiple other wallets right now at the moment. So create the wallet, but then you need to wait for the next migration. Up in Smoke asks, hey brother, in the Pi chat, the things that the moderators share are official. They know more than us. I don't know. Honestly, so they know a little bit more, so they get a little bit more information, but at the end of the day, they are not involved. So like they're not part of the core team. They are not like completely in the loop. And they are also human. They also might misunderstand something and so on. So what the moderators share, you can take, has a little bit more credibility than what random people share. But I also would not take everything 100% to the letter the way they share it. Yeah. So overall, yes, they're a little bit closer to the core team and get a little bit more information from what I know. But at the end of the day, the only information that you can 100% rely on is obviously everything the core team shares and announces. Even what I'm sharing with you, I try my best to share with you only the things that the core team shares and to point out based on my opinion or that my conclusion is and so on when I draw conclusions based on official information. But so the only 100% reliable information is what the core team shares. Yeah. That brings me to, yeah, obviously it's baffling, switching back here again. But there are still people out there that just, actually, let's see if we Justin_boss, yeah. I'm gonna search for Twitter because I don't like to call it X. What was it with one S or Bonds? Yeah, Bonds, there we go. So there are still people, founder and CIO of Cyber Capital. Okay, yeah, good. That do no research. Yeah, so like this dude here, warning Pi is a straight up scam. I'm going to read everything and then we're going to address the points. Offering an MLM-based mining scheme on mobile is a gimmick as it does not contribute to consensus. Pi is fully permission centralized and everything requires KYC, even simple transactions. Pi is an investment scam. It is that bad. Yeah. Claiming decentralization while remaining extremely centralized is a massive red flag. Delivering a mainnet 5 years behind schedule with zero innovation is another red flag. Pi claims to be a revolutionary new decentralized crypto. Nothing could be further from the truth. Pi's core tech was simply copied from Stellar, another permission chain, even though the documentation is a total mess, another red flag. We can conclude that Pi is not scalable nor even programmable as it lacks a Turing complete VM, making DeFi a pipe dream for Pi. Pi has deployed a multi-level marketing type scheme through referral programs, kicking back 25% of the mining reward. The bottom line is that pointless mining is a huge cost to the network while providing no return except for luring in ignorant investors to make, that's a long thread. I'm not sure if we get through everything. It's like, but so far it's like mostly nonsense. To make things worse, there is an additional Ponzi-like mechanism with Pi similar to Hex, where users lock up their Pi for several years to increase the mining rate. Another mechanism that is designated to lock the victims in pump and dump the price so that insiders can exit. There is currently zero disclosure on insider allocation from official sources as they claim there are none, while other reputable sources claim it's upwards of 20%. Reputable sources without links, but yeah, ironic and hypocritical for a chain that KYCs all of its users. These mechanisms are not strictly speaking by definition MLMs and Ponzi. Well, at least that you got right. A crypto has put its own twist on the formula. In crypto, the variations of these scams are in fact worse. I see, as in a traditional Ponzi, the scammers need to carefully balance paying out old investors. That is not the case in crypto, as we can utilize a token money printer while locking it up. So the scammer ends up making way more money in the crypto version of the scam. The scam is true for the MLM, as there is no real product. In this case, it's all smoke and mirrors. That Pi made it into the top 20 is an embarrassment to our industries. We identified 7 major red flags after only a few hours of research. I challenge you and say you did no research whatsoever. Exposing 3 types of scams. Digging deeper will only reveal more dirt. So speak out against Pi. And the users here are, never mind. So let's try to address all of this. It's going to be hard, or no, it's not going to be hard. It's just going to be hard to make it in 15 minutes because it's a quite long thread. I actually thought it was shorter. So, offering a multi-level marketing mining scheme or Ponzi scheme at some points. So a Ponzi scheme, I'm going to switch here and, how am I going to do this? I'm going to, copy parts of it into the chat. and highlight it so it's on the screen. Yeah. So, okay, the message is too long. Yeah. So 1 second. So that's how we're going to do it. So it also is easy to watch. So offering a multi-level marketing-based mining scheme on mobile is a gimmick, as it does not contribute to the consensus. Of course, as we pointed out, and as you can read in the white paper, and as it's default on the Stellar blockchain, there is no real mining going on. In fact, mining on mobile phones is technically, unless you basically jailbreak your phone or it's on Android and you install an APK, it's technically not possible, and it's definitely not profitable or efficient. Yeah. So in Stellar, it works this way, that the entire supply gets minted at once. So the entire 100 billion get created at once out of thin air. And then what we call mining with Pi Network is obviously you push a button, and with that, then you just earn your share of pre-mined coins. However, calling it multi-level marketing because there's a referral system couldn't be further from the truth, because in a regular multi-level marketing system, like for example Herbalife or Amway, you would actually buy overpriced products yourself, and then you would sell them to others, and then you would tell them, hey, why don't you become a distributor yourself so you get a discount on these still overpriced products, yeah? And then every time you order products for yourself or for your customers, I would earn a small commission, yeah? Because I brought you into the multi-level marketing. However, Pi Network did not require any investment. And the only way or the only reason why there is a referral system is because if there would be no incentive, if I would have learned about Pi Network in 2019 and the mining rate is, I don't know, 5 Pi per hour, and I have no incentive to invite you, then I would not tell you about it so I can get more. Yeah. However, by having a referral bonus, I ensure, and especially a referral bonus with only one level, if I tell you about the project and you join the project, you can earn your share of Pi, again, without any investment. And I earn a little bit more for the effort of bringing you into the project. It basically saves on marketing expenses. And at the end of the day, every big business out there, Amazon, all the crypto exchanges that you know, crypto.com, eBay, and so on, every single big business out there.
Software.
Yeah, so really every big business you can think of has an affiliate program which works in the same way. If I tell you to use crypto.com and here's my referral code, I get a commission from crypto.com for you, maybe not for signing up, but once you start trading. If I give you my affiliate link for eToro, I actually get a commission when you deposit. And with some exchanges, I get a share of your losses, for example. Yeah, so it's a perfect normal business measure to have an affiliate program, because that incentivizes your users. Coinbase, for example, also has an affiliate program. So it gives your users a reason to promote the exchange, so you don't have to spend thousands or millions on ads on Google, YouTube, and so on. Yeah. Trying to move on. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna have to live with me being blurred. Yeah. So it's gonna be hard to address everything, but I'll do my best to address the biggest points. So claiming decentralization while remaining extremely centralized is a massive red flag. There you can actually just look in the white paper in the original 2019 version and in the updated version as well, or the updated version actually lacks that part because it's just an addition to the original version. Pi Network never claimed it's decentralized in that aspect. It's very clear in the white paper that it's centralized in the beginning and later will then work on basically becoming more decentralized. Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue there, to be fair, with the way the KYC requirement works, because in order to enforce KYC, only the nodes operated by Pi Network can stay consensus nodes. Otherwise, other nodes would be allowed to activate wallets, and that would then make it possible to circumvent KYC. But overall, the goal is to achieve further decentralization. Yeah? Delivering a mainnet 5 years behind schedule with zero innovation is another red flag. That also is if Justin Bonds would have actually done some research. So far from the truth, because the core team at some point, or not at some point, during early times, if you were part of the project already, you might remember originally KYC was done through a third-party provider called Yoti, and Yoti, according to their website back then, charged around $1 per KYC verification. Back then, there were 100 or 200,000 KYC slots that the core team paid for, obviously with ad revenue, I assume, yeah. But then eventually they realized with millions of users, imagine there are more than 10 million users that already have KYC completed and are migrated to the mainnet. There are more than 17 million users that have KYC completed. So that would be, if we don't consider a potential discount, that would mean $17 million that would have been paid to Yoti or another third-party provider. And considering the huge costs, the core team decided to change the plan and develop a decentralized or partially decentralized KYC solution. That obviously took a lot of time, because while it might be easy to perform KYC for passports, because there is a machine readable code that I'm not going to show on the stream, of course, at the bottom of each passport, adding also support for driving licenses that look different in each country and national IDs, and then automating it with image recognition and so on, is a huge endeavor if you do that for most countries on that planet. And that obviously causes a lot of delays. Yeah. So it's not that they were behind schedule with zero innovation, but Pi Network is literally the first cryptocurrency where every single wallet is KYC verified, which takes one of the biggest counter arguments against crypto out of the way, which is that crypto is only used to pay for human trafficking, drugs, weapons, and other illegal activity. Well, with every wallet KYC verified, you eliminate that issue, with the only exception being if somebody buys my KYC verified account from me, so I'm stupid enough to sell it, yeah, and they use it for some illegal activity, but then the police would knock on my door. So it actually has not only the innovation that every single wallet is KYC verified, but additionally the innovation that there is a decentralized or partially decentralized KYC solution that does not rely on a third-party provider. Moving on. Pi Core's tech was simply copied from Stellar. That's not a secret. Pi made it clear from the beginning that they're gonna basically fork Stellar and build on top of it. While Stellar in version 20, as I've been told by one of our viewers in the past, added the support for smart contracts, Pi's blockchain version uses version 19 point something of Stellar that doesn't have the smart contract support yet. That doesn't mean that Pi could not also merge the same updates into their version of the blockchain or develop their own solution. It just means that it's not there yet. Ethereum, there are so many blockchains out there that are just forks and copies of others. The Binance Smart Chain is based on Ethereum, for example. So it's not that this is something bad or a red flag of any kind. It's common practice in crypto to not reinvent the wheel, but built on top of what exists. It's basically common practice in the whole world. Blah, blah, blah. We can skip that part. So we circle back to, we already covered the part that it's not multi-level marketing and so on. But here's another point. The bottom line is that it's pointless mining is a huge cost to the network while providing no return, which also is just utter nonsense. If you think about mining Bitcoin and Ethereum and other, especially proof of work cryptocurrencies, they are a huge environmental impact because it's using a lot of electricity. People spend fortunes on mining hardware. And at the end of the day, if I have more money than you, I can mine more coins because I can actually buy more mining equipment. If I live in a country with lower electricity costs, I can mine more coins more efficiently than you. Whereas Pi Network does not have that issue at all. No matter if you live in the jungle of the Amazonas, or if you live in, Dubai, we both can earn the same amount of Pi. We both have the same starting condition, the same situation, so the same criteria. We both have the same methods to increase our earnings. We both could run a node. I could obviously buy a better hardware for the node if I have more money. We both can invite more users. Yes, if I spend years like I did to build a YouTube channel like this, I reach more people, but you could also start a YouTube channel, grow a blog, spend money on ads or so it actually levels the playing field, of course not perfectly, but to some extent, and it does not create a huge cost to the network because the Pi Network app is running on your phone and it only submits data when needed, which means when you press a button to start a new session, it does not cause huge server load. There are no huge mining farms and so on. Yeah, and it does definitely not lure ignorant investors, because again, it doesn't cost you to earn pi. You do not at any point have to invest money. Yeah. Anyway, so make things worse. It's a Ponzi scheme like hacks. I don't know hacks, can't know every project. But obviously, the definition of a Ponzi scheme is you pay new investors with the money of existing investors. So I would tell you, okay, you can make 20% per year. You give me $1,000. And then the next guy gives me $1,000 and I give you $200 back to show you that you actually made 20%. And then you get greedy and you give me more of your money and the next guy gets greedy and so on. Again, Pi Network does not require any kind of investment. So if you want to buy Pi coins, great, because you believe in the project or you speculate or whatever, but you do not have to. So it's by no definition a Ponzi scheme. Every user that bought Pi coins in the last couple of weeks since it launched the open mainnet decided to do so on their own. It was not a requirement in any way. Yes, if nobody would have bought, the price would have went to zero, but nobody would have lost any money. The core team would have lost 6 years of their time and effort, and users would have lost a minute per day to press a button, but nobody would have lost any investment. Yeah. Yeah, then where users lock up to increase, I hope I can copy the whole message, where users lock up their Pi for several years to increase the mining rate, another mechanism that is designed to lock the victims in and pump the price so that insiders can exit. It's also utter nonsense, especially if you look at other cryptocurrencies. There are most cryptocurrencies you can lock up and stake to earn interest. You can throw it into liquidity pools on exchanges to earn your part of transaction fees and so on. It's common practice within crypto that you can stake and earn interest, which actually is you give away your crypto to somebody else and they then work with that crypto, for example, to borrowing it to other people that pay interest, yeah, and then giving you a small cut of the interest they charge the other people, just like a bank. When you deposit money in a bank, the bank gives somebody a loan and gets 6, 7, 8% interest on the loan, and you get 0.something% interest for giving them the money in the first place. Yeah. Pi Network has no staking where you earn interest on your balance. However, they have a lockup mechanism where you can say voluntarily, nobody forces you to do the lockup. When you go through your checklist for the first time, switching here for a second. When you go through your checklist for the first time, you have your lockup configuration and you can decide how much you want to lock up. Yeah. If you want to lock up nothing, so just disable the lockup. If you want to lock up 100% for 3 years or for 2 weeks, yeah, it is not the fault of the project that unfortunately a big share of users just made their way through this list without reading and just pressing buttons and then complains about having a 3-year lockup. Yeah, it's not the fault. It's the same thing if I go to some other project and don't read the staking and just click a button and then I'm complaining about that my coins are locked up because I didn't read what I was clicking on. Yeah, and again, it's not a requirement. It's completely voluntary. If you believe in the project, you obviously pick a lockup because this way you can earn more. So you commit to, I'm not going to use the Pi right now, which reduces the available or circulating supply. And in return, you get more Pi in the future from the originally minted supply. Yeah. Okay, 2 minutes left. Let's see what we can tackle more. There is zero disclosure on insider allocation. I don't think there is an insider allocation. And the core team is very transparent. The white paper has the tokenomics. 20% of the total supply will go to the core team. You can think about that what you will, think it's too much, think it's too little, think it's fair, doesn't matter. Those are the facts. Those facts have been communicated and those 20% unlock as we go. So if all of us earn 1 billion Pi coins and migrate 1 billion Pi coins, then the core team basically gets 200 million. Yeah. And if we migrate 10 billion, then the core team unlocks 2 billion. So there is transparency there. The wallets are all on the blockchain. You can look up the core team wallets and do your research there and so on. Yeah, so without proof, making accusations is just so, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Anyway, 40 seconds left. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Can I get that both? Yeah. So that Pi made it into the top 20 is an embarrassment to our industry. We identified 7 major red flags after only a few hours of research. Again, last but not least for today, in my opinion, you didn't do any research because reading the white paper would already refute some of the statements that were made here by Justin Bonds in his thread. Honestly, I think it's incredible that a project that had 0 investment requirement actually launches in the top 15. And yeah, it remains to be seen where we go from here, where obviously utility will be the long-term key. Now, with that, we reached the end of today's episode. I hope you were able to, before we reach the end, I recommend to you, if you see content like this, so people that spread utter nonsense, do not like the post, do not spend your time replying in comments or so. It just increases the reach of the nonsense. Instead, simply report it. Every platform has a reporting feature. Twitter has a reporting feature. If you see a YouTube video where somebody spreads utter nonsense that can easily be refuted, just report the content for misinformation. Of course, platforms like Twitter might not take action, but with reporting it, you might reduce the reach of the post, which actually harms the poster because they get less money from their verified views and so on. On YouTube, especially, if enough people report a video that's spreading utter nonsense, the creator gets a community guideline violation strike. The first strike means the user cannot post for 2 weeks. The second strike within 90 days means for 1 week. The second strike within 90 days means the user cannot share content for 2 weeks. And if somebody posts 3 complete nonsense videos and enough people report it within 90 days, then they actually get their channel shut down, which means they lose their source of income from their channel. So instead of interacting, if you see a nonsense video, nonsense post on Twitter, Reddit, anywhere else, do not reply. If there's a downvote option, downvote it, but no replies, no sharing. Don't post the link somewhere else and say, go and downvote this. Don't interact with the content other than downvoting if possible and reporting for misinformation, because the more serious platforms will eventually shut down the accounts, and that will actually show those people why they shouldn't spread misinformation. And the less serious platforms, at least you limit the reach of the content, and with that, ideally limit the revenue, so the money that they can make from spreading such nonsense. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all for stopping by. I'm sorry if I didn't get to address your specific question today. Leave it in the comments later, in the comment of a video, jump on Discord, ask me there, or come back tomorrow for another episode of Comment Chaos Live, and I'll answer your question then. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.